Can I give you a couple trades?
Sure. Gobert trades?
Utah calls Milwaukee and says, we'll trade you Donovan Mitchell for Drew Holiday right now.
Interesting.
Who says no?
I mean, if you're
Kyle, turn the fucking camera on.
If you're Utah, I'm not doing that deal. I want picks, and Milwaukee doesn't have the assets to give up.
Who's more of a winning player? I have Drew ranked higher than Donovan Mitchell.
So you're making...
I might have been messing around with the trade value column for 3-4 hours in the...
Okay.
I mean, without words, just the rankings. I don't know if I'm capable of writing the words anymore.
So you're saying if you're making that deal, if you're Utah, you're trying to still win.
If you're Milwaukee, I think you hang up.
Really? Hang up?
I think I'd rather have Drew Holiday than Donovan Mitchell.
Really?
I'm trying to win a title with Giannis.
I
haven't seen Donovan Mitchell play defense in a playoff series ever in his life.
But is that because he's unhappy and wants to push his way out of Utah?
What does that mean? Are you competitive or are you not competitive?
I mean, that's disappointing. Like Mitchell at Louisville, like in college,
he was a fucking turnstile in the last playoff series.
It's. Really
I think Drew Holiday is a better player. I do.
So with Mitchell. So like at Louisville in college, he was busting his ass on defense. He was really good.
Those days are gone.
Early in career with the Jazz, he did that. I interviewed him last year, and he talked to me about how like the conditioning aspect, that's been the toughest thing for him to learn in the NBA. Like how to know when to take rest and everything. I wonder if it's kind of a conditioning issue that's playing into the poor effort with somebody like him.
Or he's just not good defensively.
Might just be that too. He also small. That like no matter how good you are, you're always going to...
I would rather have Drew Holiday than Donovan Mitchell.
I wouldn't.
I am on the record.
Mitchell scoring. I still believe in Mitchell. I'm buying Mitchell stock if you're selling it.
Would you rather have Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell?
Darius Garland, younger.
Right.
Better deal.
But think about this.
And if you're Cleveland, I wouldn't want to trade for Mitchell. I don't think he's going to want to stay there long term. Mitchell's a big city guy.
That's fair. Would you rather have LaMelo Ball or Donovan Mitchell?
LaMelo Ball on the rookie deal. Factoring that in, yes.
Would you rather have Pascal Siakam or Donovan Mitchell?
That's interesting. I mean, Siakam.
You'd rather have Siakam. I would too.
Yeah, I'd rather have Siakam, yeah. But that's an interesting thought, though, for Toronto, considering their roster.
And you'd rather have Brandon Ingram than Donovan Mitchell at this point in their career?
Oh, I love Ingram. You know I love Ingram.
Would you rather have Dame Lillard or Donovan Mitchell?
Are we assuming Dame comes back as Dame, healthy? The abdomen injury is not an issue?
Stomach thing?
Are we assuming that, or is that in question?
My point is, I don't think people think, if they trade Mitchell, I don't know if his value is anything close to what people seem to think it is.
And so many teams have guards, or shot creators, right? And I think for Utah, like that's where Danny Ainge is going to feel out the market, and it's very possible he feels that Rudy Gobert can bring in a greater return than Donovan Mitchell for all the reasons that we're talking about. The concerns about his defense, the size, will he stay on this new team? And the fact is that with somebody like him, how many teams need a guard?
I think Danny goes to Orlando and says, give me all your white guys for Donovan Mitchell.
Giving up Franz Wagner? And Mo Wagner?
We're going back to the old 80s Utah Jazz. We're 75% white guys again.
Well, I wonder what the highest pick is that a team would give up for Mitchell.
Oh, the reason I brought up Mitchell, well, Zach LaVine probably wouldn't want to go to Utah. But if they called Chicago and said, we'll flip you Donovan Mitchell for Zach LaVine, who says no faster? Because if I'm Utah, I'd rather have Zach LaVine.
Well, I mean, if Zach LaVine's going to leave and you're Chicago, maybe you don't have a choice but to say yes.
Yeah,
in a case like that.
What about Paul George or Donovan Mitchell?
George.
Even despite all the surgeries and the wear and tear. It's like 30 years old.
I mean,
I have Paul George as well.
He's still so good defensively, Bill.
Shout out to Dylan Berkey, who loves this segment and is just wearing a smoking jacket thinking about how it's going to look on YouTube. Who'd you trade Donovan Mitchell for? I got you, Dylan. My big picture point is, if I were them, I would trade Mitchell because I actually think there's going to be certain teams that
But we just said how there's so few teams that might need him.
We're smart. I'm saying there's a dumb team out there. Okay. What if Sacramento...
The number 4 pick?
Yeah, what if Sacramento's like, we'll give you Davion Mitchell and the number 4 pick for Donovan Mitchell? I do think...
How about the Pistons? You didn't mention them. Pairing Mitchell with Cade Cunningham.
He needs the ball. He has to go to a team that...
Does he need the ball, or is Cade the perfect guy to create shots for him and they can create shots for each other? Mitchell can play off ball. He can catch and shoot. but he can create too.
I'll tell you who would say no in a heartbeat. Minnesota and Anthony Edwards.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they'd be like, "Are you serious?"
No, there's no chance.
Would Toronto trade Scotty Barnes for Donovan Mitchell?
No way.
They wouldn't, right?
No chance.